Hey children, welcome to the Social 2 class. Today we are going to see the lesson which is Hydrologic Cycle. In this lesson, we are going to learn about the status of water cycle in Earth and we'll see the basic concepts of hydrology and the different components of hydrologic cycle. Okay, are you ready to learn? Yes children, let's get into the lesson. All living creatures need water to survive, right? Just pause for a while and take that in. All plants, all animals, all, right? So water keeps the body, human body healthy, and every single cell in our body requires water in order to function properly. So water is one of the most important elements on the earth. Apart from drinking, water is required for domestic and agriculture, industrial purposes, etc, etc. So in everywhere water is one of the most important thing, right? So and water is very essential for carrying out almost all economic activities. About 71% of the earth's surface was covered by the water, and the oceans hold about 96.5% of all earth's water. And water also exists in the air of us, water vapor in rivers and lakes, in ice caps, glaciers in the ground, as soil moisture, and in aquifers, and even in yourself, right? The quantity of water present on the earth is about 326 cubic miles, and most of the water on the earth is salt water and is found in seas and oceans. Okay, the salt water constitutes about 97.2% and the fresh water is only about 2.8%. Out of this 2.8%, about 2.2% is available as surface water and the remaining 0.6 as groundwater. From this 2.2% of the surface water, 2.15% is available in the form of glaciers and ice caps. Okay, and 0.01% in lakes and streams, and the remaining 0.04% is in another forms. Okay, only about 0.25% of the total groundwater of 0.6 can be economically extracted with the present drilling technology. Okay, now let's see about hydrologic cycle. Okay, the water cycle, also known as the hydrologic cycle, it describes the continuous movement of water on, above and below the surface of the earth. The mass of water on earth remains fairly constant over time, but the portioning of the water into the major reservoirs of ice water and fresh water, salt water and atmospheric water is variable depending on climate variables. Hydrologic cycle is a process where water is transported from oceans to atmosphere, from atmosphere to land, and from land back to oceans by the physical process of evaporation, condensation, precipitation, infiltration, surface runoff and subsurface flow. Clear? Yes. So the water goes different forms of liquid, solid and vapor. Hydrologic cycle is a circulation of water. It is a continuous process. The three important phases of hydrologic cycles are evapotranspiration, precipitation and runoff. Okay. Now let's see the components of hydrologic cycle. Okay. A fundamental characteristic of the hydrologic cycle is that it has no beginning and it has no end. There are 6 main components in hydrologic cycle. They are evapotranspiration, condensation, precipitation, infiltration, percolation and runoff. Now let's see all the 6 components briefly. Okay? Yes children. So what is the first component? Yes, good. Evapotranspiration. Now let us see about evapotranspiration. It is defined as the total loss of water from the earth through evaporation from the surface water bodies and the transpiration from vegetation. So evapotranspiration is nothing but is the sum of evaporation and plant transpiration from the earth's land and ocean surface to the atmosphere. it is difficult to determine the evaporation and transpiration separately. So it is collectively called as the evapotranspiration. Okay. Yes. Now let's see what is evaporation and transpiration. Okay children. First let's see about evaporation. So evaporation is a type of vaporization that occurs on the surface of a liquid as it changes into the gaseous form. Okay. So as we have seen already about this in previous lesson itself, in weather and climate lesson, water boils at how many degrees Celsius? Yes, good. 100 degrees Celsius. The water boils at 100 degrees Celsius temperature, but it actually begins to evaporate at 0 degrees Celsius itself. Okay, and the process takes place very slowly. Okay, children. The oceans, seas, lakes and rivers provide nearly 90% of the moisture in the atmosphere through evaporation, and the remaining 10% contributed by plants through transpiration. On a global scale, the amount of water gets evaporated is about the same as the amount of water delivered to earth as rain. Okay? The rate of evaporation is low during the periods of calm winds than during windy times. Okay? When the air is calm, evaporated water tends to stay close to the water body. Okay? During windy, the water vapor is driven away and is replaced by dry air, which facilitates additional evaporation. Clear? Now, let's see about transpiration. Yes? So, transpiration is the process of water movement through a plant and its evaporation from aerial parts such as leaves, stems and flowers. Okay? So, water is necessary for plants, but only a small amount of water taken up by the roots is used for growth and metabolism. Okay, the remaining 97.9.5% is lost by transpiration. Okay, in case of agriculture, the crop characteristics, its environment and cultivation practices also affect the transpiration process. Clear? Are you clear about the transpiration? Yes. Now let's move on to the next process of condensation. Let's see the process of condensation. Condensation is the change of the physical state of matter from the gaseous form into the liquid form, and it is the reverse of vaporization. So condensation generally occurs in the atmosphere when warm air rises, cools and loses its capacity to hold water vapor. Okay, as a result, excess water vapor condenses to form cloud droplets. Okay, condensation is responsible for the formation of clouds. These clouds produce precipitation. Yes. Now let's see the forms of condensation. Dew, fog and clouds are the major forms of condensation. Okay. First let's see about the dew. So dew is the water droplet formed by the condensation of water vapor. Okay. Dew forms directly by condensation near the ground when the surface has been cooled by outgoing radiation. Okay. Dew formation mainly occurs when the nights are clear and wind is calm. Generally, dew forms on the grass, on leaves of the plants and any other solid objects near the ground surface. Next, let's see about frost. The ice crystals formed by deposition of water vapor on a relatively cold surface of an object is known as frost. Okay. So, frost occurs when dew point of the air falls below freezing point 0 degree Celsius. When condensation starts with temperature below 0 degree Celsius, the water vapors in the air pass directly from gaseous to solid state. So, frost may be light or heavy. When the frost is heavy, crops are damaged. It is also called as killing frost. Okay, frosty nights are more common during winter season in northwest India. Next is fog. Fog results from the condensation of atmospheric water vapors into water droplets that remain suspended in the air in sufficient concentrations to reduce the surface visibility. Okay, fog is simply a cloud layer very close to the surface. Okay, it is very close to the surface. It is major hazard in the industrial area. Okay, it is very common during the winter season. Okay, it is also very common near coastal areas. Okay, next is mist. Here, mist is the tiny droplets of water hanging on the air. Okay, these droplets form when the water vapor in the air is rapidly cooled, causing it to change from invisible gas to tiny visible water droplets. Okay, mist is less dense than fog. Okay, now let's see what is clouds. Here, clouds consist of tiny water droplets or ice particles which are so small and light in weight. Clouds are formed by microscopic drops of water or by small ice crystals. Okay, the size of the droplets generally range from a couple of microns to 100 microns. This is the limit beyond the cloud drops become raindrops. Okay, do you know warm air can hold more water vapor than the cold? Precipitation is when water vapor in the atmosphere condenses and become heavy enough to fall to the ground. Okay, for the occurrence of precipitation, cloud droplets or ice crystals grow heavy enough to fall through the. When the droplets grow large in size, they tend to fall while moving down. By collecting some small droplets, they become heavy enough to fall out of the cloud as raindrops. Okay, so now let's see the forms of precipitation. The form of precipitation in a region depends on the kind of weather and or the climate of the region. In colder region, precipitation may fall as snow or ice. Common types of precipitation include rain, sleet, freezing rain, hail or snow. Now let's see one by one. Okay, first precipitation is rain. Now let us see about rain. Rain is in the form of precipitation, that is in the form of water drops of a size larger than 0.5 mm. The maximum raindrop size is about 6 mm. Okay, drops of larger size break up into smaller drops as it falls down. Okay, generally drizzles takes place from clouds. Okay, now let's see about sleet. Sleet is the frozen raindrops formed when rainfall passes through the air at sub-freezing temperature. Sometimes raindrops fall through a layer of air below 0 degree Celsius. As they fall, the raindrops freeze into solid particles of ice. So the mixture of water droplets and ice particles would fall on the earth's surface. Okay. Now let's see about the freezing rain. So freezing rain happens when precipitation falls as liquid raindrops.
Freezing rain maintained at temperatures below freezing by the ambient air mass that causes freezing on contact with surfaces. Unlike a mixture of rain and snow, ice pellets or hail, freezing rain is made entirely of liquid drops. It can lead to extremely dangerous driving conditions and power outages. Freezing rain falls as liquid but freezes on contact and become a solid. This becomes a layer of ice that coats any object below freezing includes trees, power lines, bridges and overpasses.
Now let's see about the hail. Okay children? Yes. Hail is a form of solid precipitation. The precipitation which consists of round pellets of ice which are larger than 5 mm in diameter is called hail or hailstones. It consists of balls or irregular lumps of ice each of which is called as hailstone. Ice pellets fall generally in cold weather, while hail growth is greatly inhibited during cold surface temperature. Okay, now let's see about snow. Okay, children. Often, a water vapor in a cloud is converted directly into snow pieces due to lowering of temperature. It appears like a powdery mass of ice. The precipitation in the form of powdery mass of ice is known as snowfall. It is common in the polar and high mountains regions. Okay. Now we'll see about the infiltration. So here, infiltration is the process by which water on the ground surface enters the soil. So it is commonly used in both hydrology and soil sciences. Okay. The infiltration capacity is defined as the maximum rate of infiltration. Okay, infiltration is an important process where rain water soaks into ground through the soil and underlying rock layers. Okay, some of this water ultimately returns to the surface through springs or low spots to downhills. Okay, so some of the water remains underground and is called as the underground water. Now let's see about the percolation. Okay, percolation is a natural process in which surface water is gradually filtered through the soil into aquifers. Okay, infiltration occurs near the surface of the soil and delivers water from the surface into the soil and plant root zones. Okay, thus the percolation process represents the flow of water from unsaturated zone to the saturated zone. Now let us see about the runoff. Now let's see about runoff. So runoff is the water that is pulled by gravity across land surface. It comes from unabsorbed water from rain, snow melt, irrigation or other sources. Okay, comprising a significant element in the water cycle as well as the water supply when it drains into the watershed. Okay, here runoff is the major contributor of soil erosion. While the water runs off, the small stones and sand will erode from that place, right? So soil erosion is one of the major thing in runoff. Okay, this runoff depends on the rainfall and the porosity of soil, how much the soil is choking the water into the land, and the third one is depends on the slope. Okay, clear? Okay, now let's see the types of runoff. Okay, children, is there are three types of runoffs are there, which are surface runoff, subsurface runoff and base flow. Okay, now let's see the first runoff. What is the first runoff? Yes, surface runoff. It is the portion of rainfall which enters the stream immediately after the heavy rainfall. Okay, in this case, the excess water will run over the ground surface. So, it tends to move from one place to another place. It's called overland flow. Okay, the water joins stream or ocean called as surface runoff. Clear? Yes. Now, let's see about the subsurface runoff. Okay, here the subsurface runoff means the water that has entered the subsoil and moves without joining streams or oceans. Okay, so this subsurface runoff is usually referred as interflow. Okay, next, base flow. It is the flow of underground water from the groundwater zone to a water channel. It appears at a downstream location where the channel elevation is lower than the groundwater table. Groundwater provides the stream flow during dry periods of small or no precipitation. Okay, hope you are clear about these types of runoff. What we have learned in this lesson? Let's have a small recap. Okay, water is one of the most important elements on earth. All plants and animals need water for survival. About 71% of the earth's surface is covered by water. Out of this, only about 2.8% is fresh water, and the remaining is remaining 97.2% of water is salt water found in seas and oceans. Yes. Next, hydrological cycle is a global sun-driven process where water is transported from oceans to atmosphere, from atmosphere to land, and from land back to oceans. Okay. So there are six main components in hydrologic cycle. They are evapotranspiration, is condensation, precipitation, infiltration, percolation, and very good runoff.
What a wonderful day! What bright sunshine with such a blue sky!
Yes, but I think it's too hot today.
That's nothing. I really like sunshine. Hey sun, shine brighter!
Oh, what's happening to you? You're disappearing. I can't see you at all.
Really? I do feel different. I'm now so light, I feel like I'm floating.
What a horror! She's turned into a vapor and now she's going to fly away who knows where. It's all because of the sun. Oh, poor friend of mine. I've better hurry to hide from the heat.
How beautiful! I see our entire lake. I wonder where I'm going. Perhaps to meet new adventures and miracles. Oh my! I didn't know that the world was so big and beautiful. But it's starting to get chilly. What's that right above me? Oh, it's a cloud. It's so huge when you get close. Wouldn't it be exciting to get inside? Wow, so many droplets here. Hi everyone!
Hello, newcomer!
That's awesome! I didn't know I'd meet so many fellow droplets in the cloud. Oh, what's going on with my dress? It's changing again.
It's because you were a water vapor in the air, and now you've turned into fog. All clouds consist of fog, very small water droplets. That's what your dress turned into, just like all of us.
Ah, I see. In order to fly up, I became water vapor. That's why my friend said she couldn't see me. Now, I'm fog and look just like a cloud. We flew so far from my home lake. I wonder what lies ahead of me. Oh, my dress! Now, it's the same as it was when I was in the lake. What does it mean?
It means you're about to fall down as rain. Look, my dress is watery too. It means it's time to go. Ready to jump?
I'm scared. We aren't going to crash, are we?
Don't worry, they're all really waiting for us down on Earth.
Well then, let's jump! Here comes the Earth. Look, flowers, grass, and trees are happy to meet us. Yes, it certainly was worth jumping from that height. Ouch! Well, I guess I didn't fall apart. But where am I now?
You're in the groundwater flow. Run along with us if you want to see the sun again.
Where are you running to?
To the spring. There we can get to the surface of the Earth.
Sure, let's run faster. I want to get back to the surface. This is great! I've never had so much fun. And it's going to be even more fun to see the earth, the sky, and the sun again. But where am I now?
We're in a creek. Our trip is not over. We're flowing toward the lake now.
Come on, let's run faster then. I'm so excited to go to other places.
Boring, same thing every day. And my friend has disappeared. I'll probably never see her again.
Hi, my friend. It's good to be back home. I'm so happy to see you again.
You? Didn't you die?
What are you talking about? I went on a journey and saw a lot of interesting things. Now, I'm anxious to go on a new trip. Do you want to come with me?
Yes! I'll fly along with you. I was so bored here on my own.
Shall we fly then?
Let's fly!
Onward! Towards new discoveries and adventures.
Okay children, let's meet in the next class. Thank you.